This is Mary from the Daily Sew. Welcome to part 1 of my 3-part video tutorial on how to make this apron. This apron features a cross back, which makes it very comfortable to wear. It doesn't have that band coming around the neck, that strap coming around the neck that tugs down on your neck as you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do when you're wearing the apron. It's very comfortable. It also, of course, doesn't have the ties. Very comfortable. It is a easy project. In fact, I've used it to teach people how to sew. It goes relatively quick and it only takes a yard of 58-inch wide fabric. If you have 45 or 44-inch wide fabric, it takes a yard and a foot, and I'll show you both layouts in this video. So if you're ready, let's go.
All right, first you're going to start with your wash fabric. You'll need a tape measure, scissors, rotary cutter is handy if you have one. You'll also need something to mark fabric with, like tailor's chalk, pins. You'll also need thread, and you can use all-purpose for all of it, or you can also use some top stitching thread, and we'll go over thread in part 2. You're going to need a ruler, a safety pin, which is not shown, and an iron. First, take your tape measure and measure at where the top of the apron is going to lie. And note it will go down in the back. So take a note of that measurement and then figure out your desired length and take a note of what that measurement is. All right, let's figure out what size pattern pieces we need. My measurement was 37 inches around. Plus, I'm going to need that overlap in the back. And the overlap can be 10 to 8 inches, but this is up to you. You can have less, especially if you need to fit it into your fabric. That does include the seam allowance, though, for the ends. So I'm going to cut mine 47 to 45 inches width-wise. And then you got your desired length, your chest to desired length measurement. And mine was about 30 inches. Plus, I'm going to need some seam allowance. A minimum would be about a half an inch, but you may want an inch, or you might want a deep hem. So that's up to you, and you can figure that out and add on how much you need for your seam allowances. So I'm going to make my apron body 32 to 33 inches in the height. So my apron body, the main piece of the apron is going to be 47 to 45 and by 32 or 33. Let's talk straps. You're going to cut them 5-inch wide to make a 2-inch wide finished strap. That does include a 1/2-inch seam allowance. I also know from making this apron many times, a 22-inch long strap is good, but you need to add the seam allowance to that. So a 1/2-inch minimum seam allowance for the short ends, make it 23 to 24 inches long by 5 inches wide. Pockets. I also know from my big phone and my hands that a finished pocket that is 7 inches wide by 8 inches tall is a good size pocket for this apron. But you need to add seam allowance when you cut it out. So we're going to cut it 8 inches wide, that's a 1/2-inch seam allowance, by 9.5 inches tall. That's a 1/2-inch seam allowance on the bottom edge and a 1-inch seam allowance on the top or open edge of the pocket. Oh yeah, and you're going to need 2 straps, so cut 2 out, 2 pockets, cut 2 of those, and 1 apron body. Let's talk layout. So I have 58-inch wide fabric, which the linen comes. It's pretty easy layout here. 58-inch wide fabric, I'm going to place my apron body in one of the corners. And then I'm going to stack my pockets over here to the side of the body. And I'm going to put my straps across the top. If I have 45-inch wide fabric, or 44, however wide it comes these days, and most of these fabrics are printed, so really by the time you take off that white selvage where the ink isn't, you got 44 to 43 inches to work with here. So I'm going to put my apron body, since it is wider than it is tall, I'm going to put it going the width on the length of the fabric and the height of the apron body going on the width of the fabric. So kind of opposite here. So that's the top of the apron, the bottom of the apron. And then I'm going to put my straps here on the side. Since I have 10 inches left to work with, I can get the two 5-inch straps. And then the pockets will stack over here as well. Now with a lot of printed fabric, does your print run what direction? Does it go across that way? You're in luck. Does it go the long way? Well, if it does, you can put your apron body going across the fabric. You might want to piece your apron body that way to get it wide enough, or just have less of an overlap in the back. It is up to you. All right, start every project with ironing your fabric. I see a lot of tutorials where people don't iron their fabric, and it drives me nuts. Get the wrinkles out for a more accurate cut, more accurate measurement. Now that's the cut edge, and that's the selvage edge of your fabric. The selvage edge is the edge that's woven tight, and that's where it was on the loom. With fabrics like linen, you can leave it on or take it off. That's up to you. I was always taught to take it off. But with printed cotton, quilting cottons, you might want to cut it off because some of those selvages can really pull the fabric off grain. Go ahead and lay your fabric out. It's time to mark and cut it. Lay it out, get it nice and straight, and start from the corner and mark over how wide for your apron body. Mine was 47 inches wide, so I'm going to find that on my tape measure and make a mark. Then I'm going to go up, measure over 47 inches, make a mark. Repeat. So now I have the right edge of the fabric up on the top of the screen, and that's where I'm going to place my pockets, as you remember from the layout. Oh, and notice that I have a dip in my fabric there from when it was cut off the bolt. This happens sometimes. So if it happens to you like it did to me, just double check that you have enough room to stack your strap on top of your apron body. I ended up not having enough, or it was super close. So I moved my strap over to the upper right corner and left that center just kind of where it's dipped down low. That just went into the scraps. So you do have to sometimes compromise on the height of your apron body. I did. I shortened my apron body a little just to get my straps to fit. But as long as you're willing to fit it all in there and be flexible, you're good. You always want to make sure that your fabric is pretty much on grain. It doesn't have to be perfectly on grain, but close so that you get an accurate drawing and accurate cuts of your pieces. It is important for the drape of any project. And then we're going to put the straps across the top, which is now on the bottom of the screen. Also, as we draw in the straps, we will be drawing in the top of the apron body. And in the end, you'll have the two straps, the body, and the pockets marked out. Go ahead and get those cut out. And if you have a rotary cutter, since everything is just straight lines, rotary cutter and a big ruler makes cutting out a whole lot easier than the scissors. But it's your choice. And in the end, you'll have one apron body, two pockets, and two straps. You'll get those all cut out and join me in part 2 when we're going to talk about thread choice we're going to make the apron body. We'll make the straps and the pocket. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Join us for part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.